What's up, everybody? It's the Rogue in Disguise North American community contributor for World of Warships Blitz. And if this is your first time here, smash that like button. Hit the subscribe, and you turn that bell to all to catch all that we do for World of Warships Blitz. Oh, but yes, because today we're going to be talking about Pan-American cruisers. These things are devilishly good, considering there's a few things that you need to know throughout the entire tech tree, starting from Tier 1 all the way to Tier 10. There's 10 ships to look at in this video. That's right, 10 ships to look at in this video, starting with Tier 1 with the Hercules. So let's dive right into that. Make sure you check out the link in the description below to check out all our social media platforms that we conduct our content on, and where we live stream as well. Alright, so because we're going to be testing these live at some point in time, by the time after this video is going to be released, it'll be the next live stream. We stream World of Warships Blitz on Mondays and Tuesdays. Wednesdays is Overwatch, and then Thursdays we play BattleBit Remastered or Call of Duty Warzone, one of our picks that we've been doing on Thursdays. We've been taking Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays off. But overall, I do a lot of video editing on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, so that's what we've been doing nowadays. So, getting into the Hercules, you're going to get 102mm main guns, 7,500 hit points, just under 20 knots max speed, surface detection 9 kilometers. Again, super small maps at Tier 1, not a really big advantage or disadvantage to it. They are fairly decent Tier 1 guns with a 4-second reload time and a 7.5 kilometer range. It makes it for an okay ship. No ship specialty or skills comes at this point, but when you jump into Tier 2, you get your ship specialty, which is conducive through the entire tech tree with emergency repair, which is going to make it pristine because you get 20% more hit points from your repair kit consumables. So having like the premium ones during certain events will probably pay off, especially when you get real low hood of health and you have one left. You get 20% more instead of 15% because they just recently buffed that, which makes it so nice. So nice. But these are Pan-American ships right here, so we get that. But we get our 152mm main guns, which have a 7-second reload time, and we get secondary guns as well that are 120mm, so which is really nice. But nothing else too shabby. But once we jump into Tier 3, a couple things happens. One, we lose our secondary guns, but we pick up an additional skill for the Pan-American cruisers, which is Combat Instruction Observe Fire. Now, this will range from Tier 10% to 30% by the time Tier 10 happens, but what it really reduces is the main gun reload time and the max dispersion by 10% at Tier 3, and at Tier 10, it's 30%, and it will increase the main gun armor-piercing shell penetration power by 10% at Tier 3, and then at Tier 10, it's at 30%. But it's only activated at Tier 3 with 30 hits, and then at Tier 10, it'll require 50 hits of the main guns on a target or multiple targets. However, you gain 50 hits before you're able to use the skill. And once the skill is activated, the clock will have to run out, or the timer will have to end before you're able to rebuild up the skill again. It's not something that once you activate it, you take 50 hits to do it, and then you build up your 50 hits while it's active, and then it just becomes a permanent skill turned on through the rest of the match, and that's not really conducive for any player unless you go 20 to 30 seconds without combat. But then again, we don't want that permanent skill going on. We want to have a slight cooldown, and the way they did that is by ensuring that once that timer runs out, then you can rebuild the skill up versus building that skill up while the skill is active, if that makes any sense. But otherwise, it's a super cool skill, but you're only going to get 152mm main guns throughout the entire tech tree. With this skill, it will make a pretty fun one. Okay, I think it'll be fun. I think it's really going to destroy and demolish destroyers and cruisers, and you're going to really wreak havoc against battleships. But the only downside that you may come in across is that it doesn't have high explosive. It's only armor piercing through the entire tech tree. Keep this in mind, okay? Only armor piercing through the entire tech tree. Once we get into Tier 4 with the Cordoba from the Vicente Guerrero, again, we maintain the 152 millimeter main guns. We also get our torpedoes at Tier 4. Okay, which is really super nice. Oh, yes. We also maintain our other skills that we got, and we also get a little bit of anti-aircraft armament at this point. Not super big, because it's only small caliber AE damage at 72 at 1.5 kilometers, but because at Tier 4, the aircraft isn't that really bad. At Tier 5, it changes again. We get introduced with Air Defense Alert 1 with the La Argentina, maintaining the other skills of the aforementioned. Again, 152 millimeter main guns. The torpedoes are going to be decent. And honestly, guys, really super fun boat. Okay? At Tier 5. Once we get into Tier 6, we maintain a lot of the same stuff as before. Our torpedoes will get a little better at this point. The damage will go up, the range will go up, their speed will go up, and the chance of setting a flood will go up. And the chance of setting a flood goes up pretty significantly all the way up to 21% at Tier 10, and the range will go from 7.20 to almost 8.5 kilometers. So you're doing pretty decent. We're also going to be introduced to large caliber AE damage at this point at Tier 6 with the Almirante Cochrane, getting large caliber AE damage at 80 at 3.30 kilometers and maintaining the rest of the skills. At Tier 7, when we go get the Cornell, not a lot has changed again. Same armament throughout the everything, but we get a reload time of 6 seconds, and the range will increase to 10.32 kilometers. Main battery armor piercing damage is going to be the same at 450 versus what it was at Tier 6. 150% damage. The torpedoes, again, do about the same again, but our anti-aircraft armament goes up a little bit, and we're also given a camouflage at this point for the historical camouflage, and we get main battery firing range increased by 4%, torpedo range increased by 4%, max traverse speed increased by 4%, and surface reduction or surface detection is reduced at 4% as well, with an XP and silver bonuses at 35%. And then we can really start to upgrade our ships. Of course, naturally, anything before that, it was just kind of minor upgrades at best. Max speed on this one is just going to be a little over 31 knots. Not too fast, not too slow for the Colonel, but pretty nice. Once we get into Ignacio, things start changing a little bit for the better, because now we're going to get Radar 1, and we're only going to get one charge of that at Radar 1. That will make a pretty significant change in it. Plus, our Air Defense Alert will go up to Air Defense Alert 2, which will make it super nice. Again, historical camouflage isn't that grandiose. It's pretty focused on the range increases of your main battering firing range and torpedo, and increasing surfacing and making you a little less, making you a little bit more stealthy on top of it. Until we get into Tier 9. Again, our anti-aircraft armament at Tier 8 isn't that grandiose at 136 at 4.20 kilometers, which is okay. Not too bad, but not the greatest. Small caliber AE damage gets increased to 3 kilometers. Tier 9, a little better AA on the small caliber side. Large caliber AE damage, not that great. But we get introduced again with Radar 2, and we get one charge of that. Right, Radar 2 is going to switch his radar arm for 10 seconds, detecting all hostile ships into 8.1 kilometers. Really nice. Plus Air Defense Alert 2. We're going to get 3 charges of that now at this point at Tier 9 of the Santander. And for the final configuration, the San Martin, the last ship to get here, we're going to finally get 2 Radar 2s, 3 Air Defense Alert 3s, and we're going to get our ship skill with the max out 30%, reduction to reload time, and max dispersion by 30%, and increase of main gun armor piercing shell penetration by 30%. But then This will require 50 hits in order to activate. Pretty easy to do considering the gun's reload time at this point is 4.61 seconds. This shouldn't be too hard to accomplish because it's in a 2x3 facet and also in a 2x2 facet. Now, on the San Martin, I want you guys to look at something very, very carefully here. As we look at it, that this front turret and this rear turret are 360-degree guns. Yeah, let me point this out to you guys and show you that this gun right here, this front gun, and this rear gun are 360-degree turrets. So you're going to be able to lock onto your targets pretty good. This will go in the fact that this gun right here and this gun right here, your 2x2s back here, only traverse to one side of the ship or the other, and then you have to turn in order to get it to move into sight. Okay, there is a limitation how much of them, but the one front and the one in the rear are 360-degree turret guns. That's something to look out for, which makes it for a super fun gameplay. I just wanted to point that out to you guys. Okay, so back into other things about the ship. The tiers 8, tiers 8, 9, and 10 will have an additional camouflage available to them, which would be like the Inca Treasure. It's going to be the Music of Gold and the Mayan Mystery. And they're going to be mostly focusing on ship hit points, main battery firing range, and dispersion, along with the max traverse speed throughout all three of those camouflages, while the historical camouflages focus on increasing the ranges of your other guns. All right, your main battery firing range, your torpedo range, your max traverse speed, while the other ones work on giving you a little more hit points, making sure you can reach out a little further, and making sure your group shots are better. What I did with these beautiful San Martin, yes, I did with the niceness, is I worked on kind of a dispersion build, reducing the main battery modification number 2 by the main battery reload. I wanted to go main battery modification number 3 and reduce it by another 7%. By the time I went into the armory and went for the elite ship bonuses, I looked at elite gun operator and thought that was a pretty good deal right there, getting the main battery reload time down. I want to do a dispersion build on this one, is what I meant to say before anybody corrects me in the comments. I know I just realized what I said right there before anybody corrects me. Is that I wanted to do a dispersion build on this one and see if we can get the dispersion a little tighter, but I think the reload time will outweigh the dispersion, because the dispersion on this one in training rooms that I messed around with, because I haven't taken this out on the high seas, so it hasn't been really battle tested, but I tried shooting at a Vermont on my main account, and honestly, the dispersion at 4 and 5 kilometers and a little further away was kind of interesting. When I got to use the skill, it was really interesting to use. It was actually kind of cool to use, because watching my reload times decrease got me really excited. Honestly, I thought, the more rapid pace of the shooting of the guns was actually kind of a cool thing to see. So if you guys like this video, make sure you smash the like buttons. I think, honestly, the Pan American cruisers are going to be really super good in this update in 6.4. And later on down the road, I think they're going to be a great asset to the game entirely. So make sure you smash the like button, you hit the subscribe, you turn that bell to all. Check out the link in the description for all our social media platforms that we create content on. We'll see you at the live streams. Until the next video, guys, don't do anything I wouldn't do twice. Have a great day. And if it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. And if it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you. Oh, but yes. Until the next video, guys, have a great day. Be well.